Hello, everybody. Thank you so much to Claude Knowlton for joining us today, one of the stars of the upcoming Hallmark movie Game of Love. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a bit, what's been the main element in Pierre's character and the movie in general that fascinates you the most and drew you to join Game of Love?
Actually, it's because I speak French fluently, so that was a big plus, I guess, for the producers to hire me. Even though I am from Montreal, it's French Canadian, as in
Yeah.
Quebecois. I can turn on the French dialect very easily. Not so much the other way around for French people trying to do the Quebecois. I've never actually seen anyone who can do it. But so that was a plus. And also, I've worked in the restaurant business for years. So I did say that in my slate because a lot of it had to do with food and serving. And I thought my experience in French restaurants was a plus for them to hire me instead of somebody who's never. Most actors have worked in restaurants. So those were the two pluses for me, I think.
Yeah, and to all the fans that are looking forward to watching Game of Love, how would you describe the movie if you had just like 3 words?
Cute, romantic, and just life in general, like enjoying life. I think that's everybody, those Hallmark movies, it's always about happiness and stuff. So, and about couples basically could be interacting with each other and sometimes not always sinking in, but at the end, it's about love.
Yeah. And what can you tease us about Pierre's journey throughout the movie?
Well, it turns out at first, the couple, the leads, were not so keen on me. Like, who is this guy? And eventually, they just kind of just kind of liked me because I'm so adorable. What's not to like?
Yeah.
My character, Pierre.
And as we all know, Hallmark movies and shows always feature some well-shaped characters and relatable storylines for the audience. In your opinion, where are you and Pierre most similar, and where are you two most different as human beings, besides the French accent and
Um, well, I am no longer in the restaurant business, so that would but my experience as a server actually helped me a lot with this character. And but a little bit of being snooty at first in the scenes towards the lead couple, that is not me. That was pretty much put on, basically.
great. And acting wise, what's been for you the biggest challenge in portraying Pierre?
Uh, Actually, it was pretty easy for me. It wasn't very challenging. I felt very comfortable. The crew was super nice. The cast was amazing. The director's a friend of a friend. Not that we knew each other, but there was no nepotism at all. Me getting this role, I didn't know anyone, but I had worked for Hallmark before, so it's always kind of a. I'm not saying it's a prerequisite to be on a Hallmark, feature, but they do tend to hire the same people. So once you're in the family, it's easier to get approved.
Yeah.
So
And talking about the environment on set, as you were saying, how would you describe your experience filming Game of Love? And do you have any fun anecdotes to share with us from that period?
the environment was great. It was, of course, during COVID, so we have to wear masks when we're rehearsing and when we're not actually shooting. So that's always a bit challenging. But the actual food element, um, hopefully it looks better on film than it did in real life because they prepared, they had real chefs preparing all this beautiful food because a lot of it was about the food. And I just felt like the food was kind of like needed to be like, sprayed or zhuzhed up a little bit.
Yeah,
It look better, but I think on camera it's going to look just fine. So
yeah, I'm sure of it. And now a little fun question that we always ask the people we're interviewing, and considering we're talking about Game of Love, it's on the Game of Love universe. If you could choose any other character from the movie apart from Pierre that you would have loved to play if you could, which one would it be and why?
The lead, of course. I think I'm past my prime, obviously. I'm in my 50s, so they don't really have, guys in their 50s playing the leads, but that would have been
Never say
great.
never.
Never say never. They could do movies about, elderly, but no, it could be maybe the supporting role would be the older couple or something, because they're doing it now with, African Americans. They're doing it with LGBTQs. They're trying to, get better with what's current out there, diversity and stuff with Hallmark. But I think the lead would have been great, because it's always a little bit more challenging to actually do the lead in a movie. So that would have been great.
And throwing back instead to the origins of your career as an actor, how did the passion for acting come about in your life?
It's always been there. I think when I was younger, I was dreaming, watching television. I was from a small town in Quebec outside of Montreal called Sherbrooke. And in Montreal, it's kind of a star system city, well, province of Quebec. It's its own star system. They have everything in French. And just watching some of these kids on television, I just wanted to be like them. But I just felt like Montreal was just such a faraway city and just couldn't be attained. So I started with church choir, and we were doing some shows in the summer in the basement. So that kind of got me the bug of being on stage. And at 19, I moved to California and started doing theater, taking theater classes first, and then speaking in English, learning English, and then started doing theater in Palm Springs, California. That's where it started.
That's great. And among all the roles that you had the chance to play, all the projects that you had the chance to work on so far in your career, is there any particular one that you're mostly fond of?
Yes, I played Silas, the gay vampire in Supergirl season 6. So the reason why it was so challenging, I'd never done really a lot of stunts in my life. And this was like, I actually got a personal trainer when I saw the script and see, we do have stunt doubles, obviously, but there's a lot of activities and a lot of, you have to fall and you have to, pick yourself up and you have to run and I had to crawl. And not that I was doing any fighting or anything, but that was really challenging. And just the show, it was such a big show. It's Warner Brothers, it was CW, and it was the last season of Supergirl. And it was during the pandemic as well, which made it even more challenging. But I was ready. They even took a pause for 2 weeks because of COVID. So by the time I shot the actual scene from my audition, it was like 8 weeks later. So I was ready. And it was a great show to be on with all the leads of the show, all the cast, all the superheroes. So that was really exciting for me after watching 5 seasons of it. And then all of a sudden you're in it. And what a cool character, playing a vampire. They had blue contacts on me. I had fangs, and it was really interesting. Everybody was really nice, and it made it easy actually for me. So
Yeah. And our final question, if you had the chance to give some advice to people who want to pursue an acting career or a career in entertainment in general, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say start in your hometown and do as much as you can theater-wise. And now, since the pandemic, there's so much online. You can take a Zoom class with some of the best teachers in Los Angeles and New York, Chicago, wherever. I mean, if you're in Italy, I'm not sure exactly where the big cities offer these kind of classes, but I think it's really important to really get a base and get education before you go out there and start auditioning, because not that you can only make a first impression once, because casting directors sometimes forgive you, but it could take a few years before they call you back if you really fail, So I would say build a good foundation, get some credits, get some student films under your belt, some short films in your hometown or in the area before you venture out to the big city. With at least a resume and a tape of your work, a demo tape, before you can approach agencies and whatnot, and do as many things on your own as you can. There's so much stuff online you can get. So that would be my advice.
Thank you so much, Claude. It's been really incredible to have you here and to chat with you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And let's remind people that Game of Love airs Saturday, March 11 on Hallmark Channel. And
Yes.
can't wait to see more of Pierre and all the story.
All right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.